Rule breaker, diverse, and proud Cypriot, Sophia Hadjipanteli is more than the model with the unibrow. Discovered by Mario Testino, she's now signed to the same agency as Naomi Campbell and Cindy Crawford, and has become one of Jean Paul Gaultier's muses. Welcome to episode 1 of the Farah Shammas Podcast.
Sophia Hadjipanteli, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have you
I'm
on this podcast.
so
It's a new podcast as well, so you're one of the first.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Farah Shammas first guest. Am I the first guest?
One of.
Love.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Honor.
Well, welcome.
Thank
Welcome back
you.
to Cyprus because you have roots.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're Cypriot origin,
proud
blood-wise,
Cypriot.
but you didn't grow up here, did you?
No, I grew up in Maryland, in Annapolis, in the States, and I would come to Cyprus every summer.
Oh, so you've got happy memories.
Yeah, but my dad being a fresh off the boat from Cyprus, it was like I was seeing a
You felt
Cypriot
like,
person every day.
Oh,
So
that's
I felt
amazing.
very close to my country, even as a kid.
And what's your favourite part of Cyprus?
My favorite part of Cyprus is probably people's least favorite part, but it's that really strong gust of heat that
When you get off
hits
the
you when you
plane.
get off the plane, and then that smell of fertilizer. Is it that kind of smells like, can I swear, like shit?
Yeah.
It's my favorite part because I know I'm like back. I'm like, okay, I love this because it's everything. But also my favorite part is probably just it's probably everybody's least favorite parts about Cyprus, but they're all my favorite parts. They're like the little quirky things, like when people will run a red light, but they'll be honking while they're doing it, just so that they're letting everyone know, hey, I'm running this light, but I'm gonna let you guys know so you don't hit me. Or my favorite part is also seeing the little yayuas sitting on their chairs outside of their houses and stuff. That's always been my favorite.
Constantly cleaning.
Yeah.
Constantly like the brushing all the dust off, and then it just comes back.
Yeah. So many favorite parts.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to dive right in.
Yes.
Tell us about the eyebrow. What is with the unibrow?
I've had a unibrow since I can remember. You can probably tell I'm quite a unique alternative person. I don't know if the cameras will pick up the boots.
I love the boots.
I'm already quite a quirky, unique person, and I've been that way since I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
In school, I was rejected, I would say. I wouldn't say I was an outcast because I do think the word outcast is a cool word, which I love the outcasts.
So you had
of the world.
friends?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I had no friends growing up in school. I think it also had to do with the fact that the small town that I was raised in, a lot of the people there had a mindset that was just very different. They were raised in a completely different culture, even though we were born and raised in the same town.
Yeah, but you had
values
you had Greek Cypriot
were very
parents,
exactly.
and your
my mom
is English Cypriot.
Yes.
So again, it's a different culture. And
very
everyone
different.
Else was, I guess, American homegrown.
Yeah, and a lot of people had never even left America before.
Yeah.
And so for me, since I was a young girl, genuinely since I was a young girl, it wasn't that I ever made a point of anything. It was sort of like, well, they don't like me, so I don't need to impress any of these people. And so that made me very self-assured. And if anything, I know a lot of people might look back on the idea of being a child and not growing up with friends as a sad thing. I'm so thankful for that because it made me so sure of myself. But also when you're left with just having yourself at the end of the day and your own thoughts and things like that, you grow such a loving, caring, protective relationship of yourself. And you become far more confident and protective. Like when people say to me, oh my gosh, how do you love yourself? Well, when you have no other option, it's almost like you're not loving who you are currently, you're loving that younger version of you. And so whenever I wanted to change the way I looked, I've had red hair, I've had rainbow hair, I've had platinum blonde brows, I've platinum blonde hair, I've done all the things in the book. And I have unibrow, no unibrow, but I only ever did it because I wanted to. I wanted to just have fun and experiment and play around with my look. And I just really actually, ironically, it's interesting because usually I love things that I do, but I usually get very easily bored of them. But for some reason, my unibrow, I was like, you know what? I keep coming back to my unibrow. There's something about it that I
So you
really
always
like.
had a unibrow as a
Always had a
child. So
unibrow.
it's natural. And now
Yes.
it's topped up though.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
because I'm in the Cyprus sun, you can probably tell. I'm in the Cyprus sun, so it does, my natural blonde in my eyebrows does definitely come out. So
But
I
yeah,
had
so
to
you
fill in
dye
a
it, and
little
here
bit.
is there any
No,
tattooing
that's
or
all
no?
hair in there.
It's all natural.
Yeah, it's all hair.
Really? Look at that.
It's all hair. But yeah, so for me, I was just I was very focused on what I wanted.
Mhm.
I was a very self-assured little girl, teenager, everything. I knew what I wanted to do with my
But
life.
that must have come from somewhere, because a lot of other people in exactly the same circumstances, same situation, would have gone completely the other way. They would have become hurt, individual. They might have felt bullied, left out, outcast, as you said, and they might have turned,
hmm
hated the world. But you didn't. You took it all positively. So there must have been something either given to you that you could put into yourself, or going back home. And I know you've got a very tight family
Yeah.
network. So
So a lot of
did you have
this, I
that
know
as your
exact.
support?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I did have supportive parents and brother and
Hmm.
everything, but let's be for real. Like my dad, bless him, he is a little villager, refugee, like the most
He's from
special.
the occupied part of
Yes, my
Cyprus,
dad's from
isn't he?
Yalusa. Yeah.
Mhm.
Lost everything overnight. And to have the world and then to have it taken away, he always instilled in me the belief, which I think a lot of Cypriot children and grandchildren in my shoes will relate to, um, is a lot of our ambition and our drive and our motivation to do well for ourselves is to show our parents that what they lost wasn't in vain, and it was for something bigger. Me and my brother, we constantly say, my brother literally like valedictorian, Yale undergrad, Harvard lawyer, teach for America. He's incredible, and he's so humble and everything. And I
And
always,
very handsome as well,
yeah,
everyone.
and
And
he's single.
single. Just putting it out there. How old is he? 30.
Yeah, he's 30.
There you go. Come on,
You can have
Cypriot
the
ladies out
perfect
there.
sister-in-law.
I mean, come on.
but but yeah, so like we always bond on the fact that we a big part of us doing well for ourselves wasn't just for ourselves. We obviously wouldn't have done it if we didn't want it for ourselves, but it was also to
Mm.
show our parents.
Always, it's to make parents proud
Yeah.
and give back in some
And I
way.
do
But
also think that the being self-assured, because I do think my brother's also self-assured, but there's a very different type of self-assurance, I think.
mm.
Like he wouldn't, I don't know if he has the same sort of I wouldn't say if it's confidence. I think maybe it's audacity that I do to walk around looking the way I do sometimes. But I think when you think the way you do, like me, and when you think the way I do, you look the way I do, feel the way I do, speak the way I do, and those sorts of things, of course people are going to have like an adverse reaction to who you are. And I think even my parents sometimes didn't understand me, but I think that's what made me even more driven to make sure that it was like, you guys will find out with the rest of the world, because I just know. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in my life in terms of fashion. To be honest, I thought I would be a photographer. My mom's an incredible photographer and she taught me a lot. Um, but I knew I wanted to work in fashion. I didn't know in any whatever capacity or anything like that.
Mm.
But social media didn't exist at the time or anything like that. And I just knew I wanted to work in fashion. And that was it. That was the only thing I knew. And it's strange to be so self assured and to be so confident in what you're going to do, but have really no idea how you're going to get there.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I manifested it with my delusion, but I don't know.
And also, well, definitely manifestation does play a part, but I think also it's taking control.
Yeah.
And I think I can relate in many ways, because when you grow up in one culture or country that's different to your own and your family, then you
Yeah.
are always going to be different.
Oh, yeah.
And then that difference, even if people are nice to you, you feel it, you feel they look
Oh,
at
yeah.
you feel they don't get you, you don't get them, you haven't found your people. But you can take control by being even more different. So I know that I definitely went through that stage as well. You know, I
Yeah.
went into my gothic stage, and until now, I'll be more likely to basically tell people what they're going to comment on. I won't
Yeah.
let them just find a way. So in you being different, you've done that.
Yeah.
You've said like, well, you're not going to bully me in a way. I'm going to be myself. And
Mhm.
yeah,
I do believe that a lot of the reason that, because I I do think that in life, the cards that you're dealt with, the cards that you're dealt,
yeah,
they could either make you go up or down.
yeah, make or break.
Yeah. And I if anything, I don't even feel like I based my life off of the cards I was dealt. If anything, I took that deck of cards and I put it to the side
Mm.
and I said, I'm going to draw my own deck of cards and I'm not even going to let you guys tell me what my destiny is in a way. Like I
I
do,
love that. That's amazing.
I feel like that's sort of like, because when you, again, like when you're having to be so self-assured as a young girl, you're looking at your life not just selfishly for yourself, you're also thinking of younger Sophia. The For me, the way that I feel like allows me to connect with people, that allows me to still be so excited and thankful and like appreciative of things, is because younger me that only dreamt of the
Mm.
things that I deal with and I experience now is literally at the forefront of my mind. And she and I think of her all the time.
Mm.
Like, she would eat lunch in school bathrooms. She would be uninvited to prom. Like, she would have her clarinet reed, which I don't know if people know, like on a clarinet, there's like a reed that you
Mhm.
have to change sometimes, put in the toilet before band class at 6 a.m. in the morning in middle school. And then I would end up with like a tooth infection. But like, I find that girl, she she didn't like give up hope. She stuck it out for me.
Mm.
So if I drag my feet about things, if I, am not super still to this day excited at the fact that someone somewhere knows who I am, even thankfully, it's like so many people now, but like
Yeah.
even just that one interaction, it means the world to me
Mhm.
because if they're able to see that this is actually me. This is not an online facade because there's a lot of that online. Like there's a lot of people pretending to be one thing and then you meet them in person and it's like,
It's completely different. And the
yeah,
voices can be all like this, and then really they're like
yeah,
very normal. And
yeah.
yeah.
And I just want them to know that like keeping keeping hope and like believing in yourself and things like that, like it will work out.
Mm.
It
And
will.
being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a really powerful meditation, actually. It's one of my favorites. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you do it without them even knowing it. But I tell a lot of people this as well. And in my club, uh, that we should all sit down and we close our eyes and we imagine ourselves as a little child, as a 5-year-old. And then we go and we hug that version of ourselves, because that version of ourselves will be so proud of who we are now. And that version of ourselves needs that protection.
Hmm.
And then you love yourself, as you've just so beautifully put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do my own version of that. With well actually this since I was a probably like 14, 15, because I didn't have friends at school, my mom and dad suggested I see a therapist, not for my problems,
Hmm.
just to have someone to speak to.
Yeah.
And she was like a 60-year-old woman named Chris. And I was like a little 14, 15-year-old telling her about my first kiss and like my people I had crushes with and just all of these things. And it was once a week, and I would always really look forward to it because there's some things you can't really tell to your mom and
Yeah.
dad and things like that. And
And very progressive of Cypriot parents to also
yeah,
mention a therapist, because even
agree.
now in Cyprus,
Yeah,
people are still like, what? There's something wrong.
yeah,
Eshigadi,
yeah.
you know.
And the I completely understand that part because when I was seeing my therapist, I eventually outgrew her.
Mm.
And that's a very important part because when you have actual things that you maybe want to unpack from when you're a child, you need like a specific kind of therapy. And so
Yeah.
I do EDMR therapy.
Yeah. Which is amazing. Prince Harry became really famous because of Prince Harry, because he's used that to get over his mom's death, and
And so for me, a lot of that I do, I have to have a team in my mind. And my team is a tiger, because when I was younger, I had blonde hair and like dark brows. And I always felt like my unibrow was my stripes, and a tiger is not a tiger without its stripes. And I've got my little dog, Pierre, who was my safety blanket through the toughest times of my life. He was a little Maltese who passed away. Whenever I wanted to just cry or have a hug from someone and my parents weren't around or something, it was that warmth that helped me. And then I have little me, and they're a part of my team. And every time I am triggered by something, or when I say triggered, it's not like something necessarily bad. Let's say, when I went to Petra Turomiu yesterday, I went the first time with a group of people who I was just straggling behind them. I don't think they really wanted me to hang out with them and stuff, but I was reminded of little me, and I was like, little me would be so happy to know then that the second time she's ever seen her favorite place in the world, it's because she's scouting it for a Gaultier campaign, and she's taking pictures of it so that she can figure out how she's going to have all of these gorgeous male models and incredible, groundbreaking people who've changed the world
come to
pose in it.
Cyprus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like there was I did have like a little moment where I was like, yeah, little me, you did it. Like, but they're very at the forefront of my mind. And so for me, like, it's a very brief meditative process that I do, but even just checking in with one person on that team is very important for me in my meditation,
amazing.
I think. Yeah.
So I bet you all the boys in your year in school are kicking themselves now.
Yeah.
They're like, damn it, that's the girl we were not wanting to hang out with, and look at her now.
I mean, do you know what is so funny? Like,
I hope you just wave your hand when you see them in the street. Like,
yeah, well, you know, it's actually funny because there was a 10-year reunion for my 10-year high school reunion. And I was like thinking to myself, it would be really funny if I went. And then I didn't, because I was in Madrid for a campaign shoot. And everyone, I saw an image online in the Facebook group that I was removed from, which I don't know why, for the 10-year reunion. And I saw the picture that someone had posted, and everyone was tagged in it. And I'd taken a little screenshot of it and put it on my close friends. And everyone who I was there with in Madrid, like we're talking like supermodels, like very famous actors, singers, people who are like the tops of the charts, they were responding and they were like, babe, like, thank God you didn't go to your 10-year reunion, and thank God you're here with us. And I was just thinking to myself, it was a tangible
Imagine
moment.
the jealousy though. Like they freaking removed you from a Facebook
I
group.
know.
Like who
So
are
that I
you?
didn't know the
Like
info.
little shits.
I
Like
know.
that really annoys me, and how bullying and how mean people can
I know.
be. And you've just got not to let that ever, because that's like their vibe.
I think the
and
reason
they can just keep it for them, and you've got to just keep on spreading your love and kindness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I never fault people for how they acted at one point in their lives, and I don't even fault people for being frustrated or even mad at me for who I am today, because I would be mad at me too if I saw someone walking down the street who was everything I wanted to be, but felt like I wasn't allowed to be by society, but was doing it anyway, and was proud and happy and confident in doing it. And she was a nice person. And she was hot, and she was funny. It's like that would piss me off too if I was them. But like that's why I just treat everyone with kindness, because I don't know what they're dealing with. The only time I'll ever be disrespectful to someone is if they're disrespectful to someone that I care about. I rarely get disrespect to me. It's actually really a nice feeling. But I know how to stand up for myself, but I also don't feel the need to anymore. I'm now these days, I feel a lot more driven to stand up for people who I care about, or I don't even need to know them. And if I see someone that's treated incorrectly, oh my God, like,
yeah, me too.
it's finished.
I was
Like,
at an event last night and I saw a guy walk into the waitress, bump into her tray and spill all her drinks, and then make a scene as if she had done it. And I was
That
livid.
would ruin my day.
I was so livid. I'm like, who are you? Like, I was really protective of this. And it
Oh,
wasn't
we
a
are
hi-
the same.
it wasn't a hotel either. I'm
Oh,
like, oh, they're like, don't worry, we'll clear it up. You're fine. I'm watching you. You
yeah.
know?
Oh,
Yeah, it's just so, anyway,
yeah.
what to
But
do.
those are the sorts of, I think I just have a very protective spirit, whether it's for myself sometimes. But I
Yeah.
think I've maybe, if,
Because you know what it feels like to be the underdog,
yeah,
and therefore you'll always.
I like vouching for people and helping people find themselves.
Yeah, I always brag about my kids, but
Yeah.
I'm a mummy and I have to. But
Yeah.
I'm so proud of my kids. I always say I don't care what grades you bring me. Like at the end of every year, their teachers always say they're the kindest ones in their class, and I'm like, I'm done. That's all I want. And my son was so sweet. He has a little girl in his class who's like amazingly clever, but has has Asperger's.
Yeah.
And when she first moved to the school, she was very, very emotional. Everything would make her cry,
Yeah.
which is tough for anyone, but especially when you're dealing with the world through like a different lens. And he would find her out every day and say, don't worry, everything's going to be all right. And then go and play with his friends. But every day he'd go and find her and say, it's going to be okay. And made friends with her. And her mum found me out after a couple of months and were like, are you Leon's mummy? And I'm like, yeah, why? I didn't even know my son was doing that. And she's like, he's the only one that has found my daughter.
That's so
you're
sweet.
crying. That's so sweet.
Oh my God.
Because you can identify, and I'm just really proud
That's
that my
so
kids
sweet.
do
Oh my
that.
God.
Oh, Dane, you're going to make me cry. Oh, let me give you a cuddle.
I'm so sorry.
Oh. Yeah, but
I'm not actually like, I usually don't get like
emotional,
that emotional, but
because you can relate.
yeah.
You can relate what it feels like to be that child that doesn't, that
Yeah.
it feels alone.
Yeah.
And it's not about being different. It's just feeling alone, not
Yeah.
having that security in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. So
That's so
let's
sweet.
talk about your mummy. Your mummy's
Yeah,
in the
my
room.
mum
You
is
might
in
hear her voice in the background here.
We've
And
got Maritza,
Maritza,
queen.
Marulla. No, it's not Marulla, guys. We're just joking. So Maritza Maria, who is the most stunning. This is where the looks come from. Actually, come in on the camera.
And it's
so
where the
people can
attitude
see
comes
you,
from, honey.
because someone watch this on YouTube. Look at this
That's
gorgeous
my
lady.
got
I want to
lost
look like
in.
you.
I have to tell you, I think you've rested before. So.
Oh my God, Mama. You're funny.
So tell us about your mom.
Yeah.
Maritza, her inspiration with you. I mean, your bond is definitely undeniable.
Yeah.
She's definitely been a massive cheerleader for you. And I've just met you guys and you look like her. I don't know if your character's the same. Tell us a bit about that bond and how important it's been in your journey.
I'm going to try and say this in the least emotional way possible.
Yeah,
Because
now we've got all
whenever
emotion.
I speak about my mom, I want to cry.
Yeah.
Because I would not be the woman I am without her. Like, she taught me how, I always say this one phrase, and a lot of people don't really, I don't know if it's necessarily a good phrase, but I say it all the time. And whenever I say it, I think of my mom. And I'm going to say the phrase, but I'm going to explain it. So don't be like, oh my God. It's, the phrase is, may the bridges I burn light the way. And so I always feel like my mom had no problem ever burning bridges to protect people that she cared about. My mom would go to hell and back for someone if she felt like they deserved better or they weren't being treated well. Like me and my brother. My mom used to get on our school bus when I was in middle school, literally. She would hear that my brother was getting picked on, which he was also very picked on at school, but he wasn't.
Sounds like you were in quite a provincial school. It just didn't want anyone out of the norm.
Well, ironically, a lot of these kids came from like quite privileged, quite just generational, like close-minded American sort of mindsets, that it was the most sort of culture they'd ever seen in their life might have been from like Hispanic students that there weren't very many in school, but that they'd seen. And so when they would see someone like my brother doing really, really well in class, and it was very easy, it was effortless for him. they would probably not like that as
Again,
well.
get
And
jealous.
yeah, but my mom would hear like this much, and she wouldn't just have a go at the student's mom or something like that and be like, go and tell your kid, blah, blah, blah. My mom would get on the school bus and say, which one of you is picking on my son? Right. You pick on my son again, you're going to have to deal with me. Obviously, she wasn't going to do anything, but like she would scare the daylights out of these children. And the way the next day they would be like, Eris, I am so sorry. Like, I am so, so sorry. And like,
they shit themselves.
yeah, literally. But
I love it.
But like that's the thing. Like my mom, like has always been a fighter. When she moved from London to America, my mom was a career woman. She worked at Harrods, had an incredible job. Was like
my favorite shop in the world.
Yeah, and she was promotions manager of the food halls in Harrods, which was a really good job. And she. In our culture, like there does come a time where you kind of feel like, okay, maybe I need to like start looking for children and getting married and things like that. And I just feel like a part of her maybe sacrificed a lot of her dreams to move to America with my papa and to have me and my brother.
But you were her new dreams.
Yeah.
I say that I can cry because you're enough. Like I would say that to my kids every day. Like that's why I get emotional. I tell them like, I know I'm not perfect, but I've done a lot of good things because God wouldn't have given me you if I hadn't.
Absolutely.
And that's what you say as being a mum. Like, yeah, having our children and then watching them fly in whatever direction. Like that's our job as good mums, is not to be like, you have to stay with me, you have to be there, you have to live my dream. What is your dream?
Yeah.
And my job is to try and help you achieve that and be you in whatever form that is.
And I really thank my mom, and I give a lot of credit to my mom for I think we were actually speaking about this earlier on at breakfast. My dad, obviously, he does come from the background of having lost everything. So as that generation of Cypriot Brosvigas, they really seek stability, consistency, and backup plans. And
and he went to America so that no one's invading that.
Yeah. And so like for him, he constantly wanted me and my brother to look for very stable careers, good jobs, things that would never be taken away from us, because I think he never wanted us to feel that
modeling and the fashion world doesn't really fall into that.
And that's where I really thank my mom, because if it was not for my mom fighting my dad for me to be like, listen, Einstein, come on, like, listen, this is Harper's Bazaar. This is huge. Like, it wasn't just Harper's. Yeah, it wasn't even just Harper's Bazaar. It was like CNN and all of these other things and stuff. And I just don't think, and my dad doesn't live online, so he wouldn't have had that much of a clue. But my mom really did a lot of like that groundwork for me.
The original momager.
She kind of just convinced my dad, listen, once she graduates university, she's going to London.
So tell us about that. How did you get, you were unique. You're naturally stunning. I mean, I can see you now. You're not even like, all made up. I see your pictures. And to be honest, you're beautiful in pictures. So it's maybe unfair to that, but you're even pretty in real life, especially when your character comes out. You're so stunning. I will say this. So having not known you before, you are... And I mean, you're a model and you look amazing in your pictures, but you're even tinier in real life.
I know, I'm small, huh?
You're tiny.
I'm short.
No, it's not just short.
I'm skinny.
Like everything. You're so petite.
Oh my God,
like
love.
all your features are. Look, guys, look.
Oh my God, tell me that again.
Like so petite.
No, you're petite too, girl. Oh my God,
I love it. You're just so. It's all so sweet, and it's just all this perfect, it's like a little painting.
Oh my God. You know what's actually really funny is like in my career, actually, whenever I wear platforms and big shoes and stuff, because...
How tall are you? You're 170.
According to my modeling agency, I'm 5'6.5", but...
What's that, 170?
Off record, I'm like 5'3". Just kidding.
No, you're not 5'3".
Apparently, no, I'm 5'6.5".
No, yeah, I think you're a bit taller than me. I'm 168.
Okay, and whatever that is.
160 or 170 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is not super. It's like Kate Moss, not very tall for what we can't say that because modeling's changed now. For runway model, you're shorter
And
than
also
most, but
it really feels a lot more prevalent how much smaller I am to everyone else, because all of my best friends are like 6 foot tall drag queens or like supermodel
I'm going
men,
to ask you
gay
about that as
men or
well.
something
Yeah.
like that. So like that's where I'm kind of like, I always feel like their little adopted
But isn't
daughter.
it nice though? Like
I
my
love it.
husband's 194 and I love it. I just love feeling like this petite little
I
thing
never
next to
go for
him.
tall men, ironically.
Really, that's so
I just
funny.
think it's like, this is going to sound hilarious, actually. I'd almost rather a man be a little shorter than me so that when I'm wearing heels, I feel like a supermodel. Is that
Ah,
no, that's terrible
I
mentality.
love that. No, because that makes sense. I was even saying yesterday because I know quite a few people where the wives are like super tall and the men are quite
Yeah,
shorter.
yeah.
And I'm like, what's the dynamic? Like what? Because I know like why I like a tall guy, let's say, but then everybody, and that makes sense. That explains it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. I'm like, I'm big on eyes for me. And it's
Yeah.
not eye color or anything like that. It's about like, you can see kindness in people's eyes, and sometimes you can see nothing in someone's eyes. They could be stunning, gorgeous
I
people.
love this. So we need a guy with gorgeous eyes,
Yeah.
not very tall, please. Very, very kind. All right.
Cypriot, smart.
There we
Mwah.
go.
Just kidding.
There we go. With manners.
Yeah.
That will eliminate quite a few already.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love it. I love it. So okay, so how did you then get into modeling? At what stage did you say, or were you discovered,
Well,
or what happened?
it's just, you know what it is? It's like there's almost like two different worlds. So like the modeling side, my mom used to photograph me a lot, and a lot of my photos ended up in Italian Vogue's Photo Vogue section when they were essentially launching Photo Vogue, which was Instagram before its time,
Yeah.
which was genius idea. I don't think it exists anymore. And Mario Testino was part of the creative direction process of that. And so my mom was just taking pictures of me, and I was still.
And then sending them in.
Well, no. So essentially,
Yeah.
I'd heard about this Photo Vogue situation where they basically said you can submit a photo of yourself, and Mario Testino will be curating each of these photos to have on our website permanently for the next year. And so I heard my mom potentially could be on Photo Vogue with me, like, because her name would also be accredited in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mario Testino. So I just submitted a photo my mom had taken of me, which was a gorgeous photo, actually. And it was selected like within 20 minutes, and it was supposed to have actually 48 hours for you to find out. Within 20 minutes, I got an
They
email
just saw it
accepting
and
it.
went, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was the front homepage of Italian Vogue for 8 months. And since then, I started to get some people who had seen my face before. I was quite familiar, but Instagram was then becoming a thing. And I was also so much more fixated on my outfits. Like, I thought, I'm going to be in fashion. Modeling is not for me. I don't see anyone who looks like me in modeling. I just want someone to recognize me for how cool and stylish and free I am. And eventually, so I would be posting a lot of outfit-based pictures and things like that online. I loved thrifting. I loved all of that jazz. And it was my senior year of high school where my Instagram became massive. And massive at the time was like, so I would say at the time where Instagram was like 50,000 followers.
I was going to say 50,000, and that was already like
50,000. Yeah,
huge,
50,000 followers then might be like 1 million today.
Yeah.
And it was huge. And then so I was already well known. And then I basically said to my dad, like, I want to work in I need to go to New York. If I don't go to New York, I'm not going to work in fashion. And my dad said, please, Sophia, please just stay just all I need you to do is just 4 years. That's it. This is not going to leave in 4 years. Just please get this business degree. You can do this on the side. You can even go to a university that's close by, which happened to be a really great university. And then you can do both. Thank God I did that because it actually allowed me to travel between DC and New York whenever I wanted. I was able to save money. I was able to focus. Like, instead of partying every night, I was doing photo shoots, or I was spending the night at my friend Sarah's house in New York on Roosevelt Island. And then we were sneaking into fashion shows and stuff like that. And like, I was also able to focus more on building my profile. But I didn't think still, oh, I'm going to become some famous model. I still didn't think that. I still thought fashion, like styling or design or something. And then I was approached by Jenna Rosenstein from Harper's Bazaar in an email. And I thought it was a fake email, actually, ironically. And she said, hello, I'm Jenna Rosenstein. I am the editor-in-chief of Harper's Bazaar, and I'm now also their new beauty editor. And I'm absolutely in love with what you're doing, and I really want to profile you. And they never do, at that time especially, they never did solo profiles on people. They were either promoting something or a brand or something like that. You would never see someone say, this is this person. This is everything you need to know about her. Signed XOXO Harper's Bazaar. It was literally like she introduced me in the best possible way to the fashion industry, but she introduced me as a Greek Cypriot model. So then everyone started saying, okay, well, she's a model. She's a model. And that article, when I tell you it went viral, the virality of today is not the same as the virality at the beginning. Like now, maybe like 100, 200, 300, 400,000 views, sometimes even like 100 could be considered viral. Like on the low end of virality at that time, for me, like if I didn't think a post did that well, it would only have like 1 million views. Like I'm talking, there was like hundreds and hundreds of millions of views and comments and likes and shares and hate comments and all that jazz. And so people really got to know me, but the industry was introduced to me in the most, like I still to this day am so thankful, in the best way ever. It was Greek Cypriot model and activist is changing the face of beauty and leading the beauty revolution.
And an activist, in what way did they classify you as
so
an activist?
a beauty activist.
Yeah.
So essentially, I've always said, I don't want to change anything about anyone. I just want to make beauty bigger.
So almost like Cindy Crawford at the time when they went, you could be big, but we just need to remove the small.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I'm not removing them all, which isn't, you think now like that was a big thing in the 80s, but it was.
Yeah.
And like in your case, you're like, this is my face. This is what I look like. And,
and every single fashion publication, I'm pretty sure that exists. Well, unless they're new, but they've done a piece on me. Some of them just copied and pasted the article directly, which was actually really funny. And then some of them interviewed me right after. And I remember I was going between classes and doing interviews and stuff like that. I was trying not to miss my like finance class that I could do this interview or something like that. And then once it was my graduation day, I'd already had a modeling agency ready to sign me in London. So I moved to London. That's the day after.
Amazing. Yeah. And okay, you mentioned hate comments. How do you cope with that?
I don't really read them.
Yeah.
I really don't. Sometimes I'll read them like, because if I think they're really funny, like there was one that I keep repeating actually to my parents because I find it really funny. Someone saw a picture of me or a video of me on TikTok the other day, and it was like, "Ena detio mas edrogentes gotes tochorio." And I just found that so funny because it was basically they're trying to say like a monster like this is what used to eat the chickens in the village. I don't know why. I find
for me, I don't. It just goes over my head because I just think it's so.
But there was something about that though. That comment that cracked me up. Like not even in a negative way. Like oh my god, you're pathetic. It was like that was really actually hilarious. Like I honestly have an urge to respond to that one and be like, you know what, kudos to you because that was actually quite clever. But like I've heard everything under the sun.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know because it is tough because that's. I mean, I don't let my kids have social media.
Oh yeah.
They're still young.
Yeah,
so, But even the 12-year-old just can't have a phone yet, or because you know the world is crazy, and I think when you're very young, you're not yet equipped to cope with what will come.
Agreed.
And it is going to come. And but I let them know the things that I get and then how I deal with it.
Yeah.
And like yesterday, I was reading through like some of my comments, which is nothing, I'm sure, what you, and you know, maybe I had like 10 nice, oh, thanks for sharing this. Thanks for sharing like all about Cypriot names. And I get all of these. And then I got one, just very simple, you're ugly and your nose is big. And I was like, beautiful. And I actually wanted to answer back. I was so tempted to be like, thanks so much for getting in touch. I had no idea. Like, that's really helpful. But then I was like, that's what they want.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I shouldn't even make a joke out of this. I'll just.
But then it's actually quite funny because then when I do on the off chance decide to respond to someone's comment, they'll either delete the comment or they'll report me for having responded to it and being like they're bullying me. Like, and
Oh
so that,
my
and then I'll get my
goodness.
video. Like, for example, someone said, like, you're disgusting. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I said, and I remember I specifically responded in a video and I said,
Yeah.
I'm really sad that you feel this way, that someone
Yeah.
somewhere has made you think that me just wanting to look however I want to look should bring
Has
me shame.
offended you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's made you so upset that you feel the need to leave this
Mm.
comment. And nothing about it was like aggressive or anything,
Mm.
but it was the way that the video, I got a notification from TikTok that said your video has been removed for bullying and
Oh
whatever.
my
And I was like, oh
goodness.
my God. Like imagine me getting the hate comment and they didn't take their comment away.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the thing. They've got too many to like go through, so they just have to.
Yeah.
It's bots half the time doing it.
Mm.
So you mentioned as well LGBTQ
Yeah.
plus community. I've just had also a podcast all about that and a movement in Cyprus, and you know, yeah, it was really interesting.
The
Tell
gays,
us
the
about
dolls, the divas, the everybody.
all the fabulousness.
I love.
So I know that you've been very vocal, and it's been really beautiful to read your words and your posts about the community that supported you so much and helped you in your career. Tell us a bit about that. Like, where does that come from? Where do you fit into that? How's that helped you? Everything. I want to know
Oh
everything.
my God, thank you for honestly, thank you for asking this question because I really feel like a lot of people don't let me actually be able to give the appreciation that the queer community deserves for how I feel about myself. Like I was raised by the gays and the girls, like to the point where when I came to London, no other model who was my age, my gender, my sexual orientation, like no people who were like identifying like me wanted to be friends with me because they thought of me as, oh, she just moved to London. She's going to take all of our work.
Yeah,
We
she's
don't,
competition.
yeah,
Again, jealousy. We go back to the same current
yeah.
theme.
And so it was a lot of like gay men. Gay men raised me. Queer people in London have taught me how to stand up for myself, how to embrace being different. Like there is no way in hell I could feel uncomfortable about having a unibrow when one of my best friends is walking down the street in like 7-inch stilettos, like a full grown man with like extensions and wing and looking gorgeous and stunning and feeling amazing. And I'm going to feel insecure about having a unibrow when he looks that great, please. But like also there's so many like amazing drag artists and drag queens and like that's the sort of creativity and like I take a lot of also inspiration from the queer community because they just look out for each other and they've taken me in as one. I mean, I am an ally, but they do consider me a gay man. They say to me all the time because I love gay men. Like they make me feel so beautiful. Obviously, I love everyone in the queer community, but specifically me and gay men, we are like this. And I do also feel like having like grown up in a small town as well. Like the only two friends that I ever remember having, which weren't for long periods of time, but I do remember having two different friends. Their names were Sammy and Schaefer, and they were both so gay when we were growing up. And I just, ever since I was little, I've always gravitated towards the energy and the love and the acceptance. Yes. And it's also like, you won't find anyone in this world more self-assured than someone who, especially I would say also when it comes to Cypriot, a Cypriot queer person, because although Cyprus is accepting, it's also not the most accepting country in the world of this community. So for you to be an out and proud queer person, living your life and doing it unapologetically, like I can't help but just look up to you and want you around me and to teach
Hats off
me
to
things.
them.
Yeah.
Really.
And I also think a big part of it, a big part of the resistance in some older generations in accepting queer people does have to do with, because I do feel like it has to do with like our ability to have children and a legacy, and because that's like the number one thing I think is like a lot of Cypriot people is being
their
able to
name.
carry
They have to have their name
carrying
down.
on that name and that legacy and that sort of thing. So for me, I'm going to advocate for queer people as much as I can, especially in places like Greece and here. And when I hear idiots online saying that gay men shouldn't be able to have children or
I
shouldn't be able to do
know,
that,
it's horrific. I was talking about that the other day.
it's something that it doesn't break my heart.
And
It
even
pisses me off.
lesbians in Cyprus,
Yeah.
even if one has a baby, the other has no rights.
Yeah.
So if something ever happened to the biological mother, the other mother has no right over their
Yeah.
child. I mean,
And
I want to cry when I think about that.
like I just feel like it I'm trying not to get emotional again, but like it just does really mean a lot to me to protect the community that's always protected me. I know it's always encouraged me to be myself, but there's a lot of people that they'll before they know anything about you and they've just spoken to you and they think you're lovely, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you're great." But if they knew, oh, they're queer or they're American or something, I don't think I want to talk to them. But it's like, but if you just spoke to me, you would know I'm a lovely person.
Exactly what we said on this podcast with Stefanos Evangelidis. He was like, so this is my name, this is what I do, this is where I come from, this and this and this and this and this is about me, and this is my hobby, and I'm gay. He's like, this is just one of the attributes in my life. This shouldn't define, whether people want to talk to me or not. Yeah.
And just like also having worked with Gaultier for so long, and that fashion house, I like a lot of people are like, oh, like, do you like working with Gaultier? Like, it's such a major brand. It's not that I like working with them. It's the fact that I'm honored that they want me to be a part, even in the smallest way possible, of the history of this brand, because this brand itself has changed so much for queer people and given so much money and platforms and spotlights to people who would have otherwise just been what is it, like a flash in the pan or like a piece of dust in the wind. I don't know what it's called. Like there are people who are part of the Gaultier I'd call it the Gaultier family, that they came from nothing and they were discovered by their team, and they were a prostitute in Paris, and they were gay man, just almost homeless. And then they were discovered because they were gorgeous. And their life is just completely transformed now. They live in the most beautiful apartment in the heart of Paris. And it's like they're known as the Gaultier boy. And that's something that we wear with like pride because of how many people came before us that fought and fought and fought for people like us. And so that's sort of also like a thing. It's like, listen, people before me fought for me to be here. And so I'm gonna fight now for whoever else is gonna come after me. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
So tell us a bit about the brands you've worked with. I mean, now you're working with Gaultier, but there's so many others.
I've worked with
magazines.
I've worked with so many magazines, so many brands. I don't know if you want me to like list them off, but
come on, tell us some.
Yes, okay.
Or tell us the more memorable, or like
Vivienne Westwood was fabulous.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. I have a really lovely story. My first second time meeting her. I was in Paris and I was at my heaviest weight actually, and I was feeling
probably
but you know what's funny?
46 kilos. It was terrible. I couldn't believe it.
But I was really like upset because I was like, I am not going to fit into anything when I go to the Westwood showroom right now for her show, and I'm going to be so embarrassed because a lot of her stuff is corsets, and I want to wear the things that I want to wear that I'm never going to have access to. And I remember when I went into their showroom. Yeah, it was their showroom. And they put me in like this big, sort of just, it looked like a caftan sort of thing. It had no shape. It was almost like just a babylon, like a bed sheet, whatever. And I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, I was just scared to tell them I don't like it. So I was like, I think I can make it work. Yeah, I can make it. In my head, I'm looking at all of these other gorgeous things. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're safe.
Why did I get this?
Yeah, but then I'm like, maybe they're safe for someone else. I don't know. And then Andreas, her partner, and Vivienne walk in. And Vivienne saw me and she was like, what do you have that on for? No, this is all wrong. What? put her in this. What are you covering up her body for? And so I took she made
I
me
love the accents, the
she made me
impressions.
take it off complete, like right there, completely whatever. And she was like, "You've got a great body. Why are they making you put all of that on?" And then she got really mad at the women. She was like, "Don't cover up her body. She looks beautiful. Do you like this on you?" And I said,
Oh,
"Yeah, I love it. I
nice.
love it." And she was like, "Did they ask you if you wanted to wear this, or did they just put it on you?" I was like, "Oh, they just
Oh,
offered it." And she was like, "No, no, 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 no. You ask next time." And I remember like she just really fought for me to wear something that showed off my body. And then I remember I left Paris and I felt like, oh my God, Vivienne Westwood, the queen of like hair, has contributed to heroin chic in a way, like said to me, "I have an amazing body and that I should show it off." And I remember going
And
to
it was
that
a
show.
time that you were feeling less
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah. And I remember going to that show basically wearing nothing.
Mm.
It was like a latex, it was actually a latex man that was cut out. Like, in crime scenes when they're little thing.
Yeah.
It was a latex man and it was draped on me like this. And I was wearing a pair of shorts underneath and it was super cold, everything. I remember just leaving Paris and being like, you know what? It's all about perspective. Like we stare at ourselves for so long, but it has to do with, imagine like one of your idols says that. So yeah, and Westwood was great. Christian Louboutin, love him. There's loads of
So
people like
many.
Zandra Rhodes, that's my queen. I've been collecting some bedres for Zandra Rhodes
Aw.
because she likes to collect loads of stones and she's a lot older now. So I really do think of her when I go places because I know she loves traveling and stuff. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned heroin. Let's talk about the drugs and
Yeah.
the rock and roll and the sex and the
Yeah.
partying and everything else that is in the fashion world.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
Well, I do believe
Imagine I dive right in.
Yeah,
No.
well, I just think that because I have a lot of people around me that I'm actually quite lucky. A lot of the people around me in fashion have been in fashion for a very long time. Like I'm talking like one of my friends who's a stylist. He's been a stylist
survived
since he
it.
was 14. And another really one of my good friends is DJ Fat Tony, who's like very, open about him being sober and stuff like that. So obviously there's constantly going to be drugs and alcohol and the rock and roll of it all constantly everywhere. But I also do know that I'm not where I want to be at in my life. And I know also what kind of a person I am. Like, I do have a very addictive personality. That's just who I am. Like, I'm the first to admit I smoke cigarettes. I drink coffee religiously. I do drink alcohol, love a bit of wine. But I do also know those three things already is a lot for an everyday person. You can't add anything else into this mix. And if you still have dreams that you want to achieve, don't even think about that. Even if they're literally being forced in your face, it's like maybe it's just like the tunnel vision that I have that I'm like, I don't really need that for me personally. I definitely need a cigarette because I got a very stressful life, but I don't condone smoking at all whatsoever. But I do sometimes need a cigarette to relieve the stress, but that's as far as I go personally. But I love to be open about those things because
Again, it's back to being authentic.
yeah, like if I lose a L'Oreal contract because they know that I smoke cigarettes, fine. But I'm being authentic and I'm being genuine. And I would rather someone say, we don't want to work with you because you smoke cigarettes or you drink alcohol or something like that. That's fine. But what I don't like then is when they're replacing me with someone that probably does far more things than me.
Yeah, it's like they're
But
shooting coke in the bathroom, but showing that,
but
they're
hides
like,
exactly, but hides it because they
100%.
want to live a facade and things like that.
100%.
And I do live my life quite unapologetically. It gets me in trouble, like, but I'm not going to lie
Don't
about
worry,
the
you're not doing
things.
anything that wrong, my
Yeah,
dear.
I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, but also I'll be completely honest with you as well. Like, the brands that don't want to work with me because of those things are the reason other
Are there
brands
a lot
do.
that?
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, there's definitely some confrontation. There's like not conflicts of interests and those sorts of things. I remember I
Okay.
lost a watch contract once because my boyfriend at the time took this most beautiful, gorgeous photo of me. He was a photographer. And I had a cigarette in my mouth. It was very artistic and beautiful. It was honestly one of my favorite photos ever. And my agent had just said, okay, you're confirmed. You're going to Prague for this job. They're really keen to work with you in the future. So it's going to be a contract type of basis, blah, blah, blah. I was like, fabulous. And so we wanted to almost just like, we were really happy. I was in a really good mood. I was like, let's go take a picture. He goes and takes a picture of me. I loved the photo. My hair was all done, makeup. It was very glamorous. I upload that photo. I get a phone call from my agent saying, delete that photo right now. I was like, why? And she was like, because I've just had the client call me and say that if you don't delete this photo right now, they're going to end this contract right now. They're not going to sign it. And I said, okay, I'll delete it. Fine. And then I was sat there and I was like, no. I put it back up and I missed out on that job, but I don't care because I know how much love went into that photo. It was it's still, if I were to upload that photo today, no one would think twice about it. They would be like, oh my God, love. But for some reason at that time, it was where the industry was in a strange direction where there wasn't the whole brat summer of people being unhinged and being, ass out, tits out, fuck yeah type of thing. It was sort of like everyone was trying to be preppy, polished, cool, Ralph Lauren. The girls at Ralph Lauren love me. Like, there's so many of the PRs at Ralph Lauren that like are constantly messaging me and being like, "Oh, babe, like we are obsessed with you." Like at our office, and I'm like, "Well, why don't you work with me?" And she was like, "In our dreams, literally." But like, obviously, that's the thing. It's like I know I'm not for them, but I don't ever in life go somewhere or change who I am for other people.
Thing. We're not all for everyone.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
Okay. I've always been all right with that. I'm like, not everyone has to like me.
Yeah.
And I don't like everyone. And if we're all honest about it, but not with hate or negativity.
No,
we're just like being ourselves and then we find our way.
Yeah.
So what is your beauty routine? And what do you eat in a normal day? Like,
well, I
questions.
burn water.
Okay.
So I do a lot of Uber Eats. I do a lot of I love fruits and vegetables. I like snack on those every single day. Love pasta. I do Pilates. Avgolemonin. I do actually, Mama, thank you for reminding me. I make avgolemonin every week. It's like my comfort food. It really is. Like, I feel like it's just like, even if it's, I mean, maybe not so much so in the summer, but it's my comfort food. What is it, that interview that Giselle did where she said, it was like years ago when they were like, so what is your daily routine? And she said, I wake up, I have 6 cups of coffee, smoke 2 packs of cigarettes, and then I have a whole bottle of wine to come down from the coffee. I smoke another pack of cigarettes and I go to bed. I'm like, you know what? That's not entirely me, but it could be me on some bad days. But I do recognize that I don't probably live the healthiest lifestyle, but I do Pilates. I'm trying to work out a little bit more, but I don't necessarily think like gyms and those sorts of things aren't for me. I personally would rather like walk places, see things. I don't want to feel like I'm on a hamster on a treadmill. I don't want to I don't want that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm not really a
gym person.
But yeah, no, I don't think you could find Sophia Hadjipanteli if there was not coffee, cigarettes, wine, and avgolemonin supan ertrahana right there.
And what about your face? Like, so what products do you use on your face or your routine?
I'm really bad.
Or do you just sleep do you sleep with your makeup on?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you? I've never. I hate it. I hate the feeling of like,
really?
I hate the feeling of foundation.
Well, yeah, same. But like when I was, when I first moved to London, I started getting Botox. But I didn't start getting Botox because there was a problem. I was advised by one of the best in the friggin' business, and who's a model, and I'm not gonna say who, just I don't want to get them in trouble. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna start getting Botox because for me, I love the way I look. And I just want to try and look this way for as long as I can. I don't want to ever have to do a facelift or anything like that. Again, I'm very transparent. I've been seeing a doctor, Dr. Ahmed. I'm obsessed with him. He's grown up with me essentially. And he always says to me, like, we're not changing anything ever about you. And that was the first time that I met him. He said to me, we're never going to change the way you look ever.
I love that. Yeah.
We're just
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of that, I really don't have to use a lot of skincare and stuff like that.
Mhm.
A lot of the skincare and stuff like that I get, I do give to my mom because my mom's more of a skincare girly than I am. Because I do feel like my makeup routine, I'm either like a lot of makeup or no makeup. And like today, actually, I'm kind of in the middle. I put like some mascara on, but I find that um, my makeup routine is so time consuming because it's like a ritual for me. It's like therapeutic that the idea of doing skincare every day so much, it's just a bit, but also the most beautiful people in my life that I grew up with, like my yayas and my mom and stuff, they never used a lot of skincare or
I
anything
know. I
like
always
that.
love my mum. It's just the Nivea, like the
Yeah,
Nivea in the big
love.
tub that it's normally for the body,
Yes.
and it's just like the hands
Oh
going
my
like
God,
that,
I love that.
and that's it. That's the makeup remover, the skincare, everything. It just goes on. It's just this white mask,
Mm.
but she looks great.
I do love
And I'm like,
doing
there's
that.
the rest of us spending like hundreds and hundreds and
Yeah.
like a million facials and
Yeah. And I also do like Embryolisse. Naomi Campbell put me on that. She'd been using that since she was
well, she looks
14.
amazing. Yeah.
14. Embryolisse, it's the sensitive one for anyone watching.
Okay.
I've been using that since I was 15.
Mm.
And that is the only moisturizer I ever use. Because I do have quite dry skin, but because I travel a lot and I'm on planes a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So just before you came on, I had I put on my story on Instagram.
Yeah.
Who wants to ask a question for Sophia
Ooh.
Hadjipanteli? And we got this really interesting one. So why did you choose to work with am I going to say this right? Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Chipotle Wonder Skin Beauty.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
so actually,
Have I said that wrong?
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry.
So it's a Lipotle. They did a
Oh,
brand. So basically, Wonder Skin is a
I had
makeup
it
brand.
shut. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So
Okay.
it's a
Chipotle
collaboration.
and Wonder Skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the collab? Like
Yeah, it was a
how does
collaboration that
because
Wonder
isn't it
Skin.
a food and a skin?
Yeah. So basically,
So how did that happen and what's
um,
going on?
so I am one of the ambassadors for Wonder Skin Beauty.
Okay.
I really love Wonder Skin. Like it's actually like I met the owner, I met the founders, like their ethos within their company, like everyone enjoys working there. They're really
Mm.
kind people. So my best friend Layla, who happens to be Turkish Cypriot, works for
Aw.
them. And she kind of put me on to this brand. And she put me onto this brand very casually because she was like using a product that I like loved. And she was like, babe, you can have it. Like, okay, I'll get you more. And then I couldn't live without it. And I started finding myself buying it. And then they started really liking the stuff I was putting up and stuff like that. So now I work with them. And so I think they just came out with a lip mask that you put it on. It's like a stain. And instead of it being their typical blue, it's green. And it's meant to be like a collaboration with Chipotle. Because when I guess you're eating Chipotle, or eating in general, your lipstick tends to come off all the time. And so, yeah, they basically just did that collaboration. That's why I agreed to do it because I do love
Okay.
Chipotle, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's so cute. All right. We're going to end with a joke.
Okay.
We can delete this if you don't like it. So I brought some tweezers from home.
Love.
So I'll be like, have you met these? We'll do your eyebrows. I'm joking.
No, I do
I'll be
actually.
like,
I use tweezers for my mustaching. I use tweezers for my mustaching sometimes.
all of us, come on and wax
I actually
it.
find it very therapeutic sometimes, and my nose.
I'll be like, we'll use this on a reel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be like, right, come on, let
Nah.
me tweezer out. Let me tweezer out.
No. Do you know someone said that
Can
to
you
me?
imagine?
You know, someone said that to me the other
We'll
day.
do that.
They were like,
There we go.
"Oh my
And let's tuck, tuck, tuck. Ah.
Someone said that to me the other day. They were like, Sophia, let me just fix your eyebrows. And I was like,
There
ugh.
we go. We just take a bit out.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
You'll
We
be
would
taking money out of
never.
my pocket, sister. Just
We
kidding.
would never. We would
Amazing.
never.
But those
We're
actually really
dangerous.
nice tweezers,
Oh,
though.
they're good. Do you want them? You can have them.
Oh my
I
God,
think
no,
they're
that's
from
okay,
the
babe.
States.
Love. It's got a little light on it,
I
mama.
know.
That's
You
actually
see?
really handy.
I don't know. My brother got me those when he lived in Boston,
Fab.
and there's a little mirror.
That's really nice.
Ella, you can keep it.
Oh
and
my God,
remember
God,
me.
no.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Stop.
There you
Love. Oh my
go.
God, I've been
Yeah.
gifted tweezers by Farah.
I think you need to
Oh my God, I love.
do the battery though, because I've had them for a while. But yeah,
Fab.
if you put a new battery in, then you get the
Oh my God,
light.
cute.
Yeah, isn't it cute?
Hey.
They're in my drawer. I was like, oh, we have to do the joke of the
Yeah,
tweezer.
Avi.
Oh,
Amazing.
but that is a joke because we
Yeah.
wouldn't change any single thing
Thank
about you.
you.
You're fabulous.
I
You keep
appreciate
on
it.
being you. You
Thank
keep on
you.
showing people that they're the
Thanks.
ones missing out. Show
Thanks.
them, spread that love in the world. And I just wish you all the best,
Thank
really.
you,
You're
Farah. And honestly,
fabulous.
I can't wait to see the incredible icons that you have of children when they are
Aw.
grown up. Because if
Aw, me
they're
too.
they're treating people the way they're treating people now, honey, they're gonna be one of the best people in the world.
Thank you
And with
so
a mom
much.
like you,
And enjoy San Rafael. I'm so
thank
excited.
you. Oh my
to
God,
get
thank you. It's
here.
incredible.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
literally like
welcome.
it's very special to be here making memories with my parents and my brother because we rarely get a
Yeah.
chance to be
And
back
it's the perfect
together.
time of year, and you've got the sea.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And it's for my dad's 70th, so
Aw.
it's special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to him.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll do your eyebrows. I'm joking.
No, I do
I'll be
actually. I use tweezers for my mustaching. I use tweezers for my mustaching sometimes.
All of us, come on and wax
I
it.
actually find it very therapeutic sometimes, and my nose.
I'll be like, we'll use this on a reel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be like, right, come on, let
Nah.
me tweeze her out. Let me tweeze her out.
No.